We already are, man. We're a really good football team. Like, there's no time to hang our heads down. It ain't that bad. Like, we gonna figure it out for sure.
It's a really good football team, and it ain't that bad. That's CJ Stroud talking about your 6-3 Houston Texans yesterday. Hello and welcome aboard Gallant and George on Thursday, November 7th of 2024. I am Paul Gallant. He is Joe George. We got Sean Mapes behind the glass. Joe, do you share that enthusiasm?
I mean, the way you set it up, Paul, they're 6-3. They're a good football team.
Oh, you're back. I mean, you've got a Houston Texans sweater on.
Yes.
A Houston Texans hat on.
Yes.
I've got a Houston Texans hoodie, suns out, guns out shirt.
Yeah.
I think this is the JJ Watt brand, Sean.
Question.
Yes.
Did that come with the sleeves off, or did you cut them
Good
yourself?
clarification.
It actually came with the sleeves off.
Okay. So
I
it
can
was
tell
JJ Watt brand.
it's not like he did it on his own.
Okay.
Can you guess how much it cost at Academy Sports and Outdoors?
55.
47.
That's pretty good.
I
That's
saw
the man
it.
who worked at Live.
Okay, I got this for like $80.
Oh, God.
That's an 80. Well, it is a starter sweater.
Yeah,
So
it's a starter sweater.
It does
listen,
look nice.
we're swarming up a storm in here.
Swarming.
I am excited about Sunday night, but
Good for you.
you're not excited about Sunday night?
The Lions are so good.
But it's the Lions at the end of the day.
That's the problem. They're the Lions. They still wear those damn jerseys.
They're beautiful jerseys,
Yeah.
but they're still the Lions. I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. What I do know is that there seems to be an element of rabbit ears going on with the Houston Texans. And this is something that we've observed from Texans offensive linemen earlier in the year. Now, I'm curious, Joe, if you're starting to hear it with the Houston Texans head coach. Here is DeMeco Ryans at yesterday's Texans press conference talking about where this team is and how they can execute better.
Every game we've talked about, we've been in the games. We just, people, I guess it's this narrative like we just not a good team, but we've been in games. We just haven't made the plays that, it's not from a matter of, effort and those things. It's a matter of being on the details, and that's what the league is about.
That sounds like rabbit ears. Now, I know that the top two culprits, Bill O'Brien, and then PR lady went to go work for the Jags, Amy
Palcic.
Big rabbit ears, I've heard back in the day. She was the communicator of things to Bill O'Brien, I had heard back in the day. But a lot of people worked for her that are still within the Texans organization. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're the ones passing on the messages.
Texans PR, you think, maybe?
Yes.
To the coach?
To the coaches, to the players. But also social media just helps these guys be aware.
It does help them be aware when they speak to us and questions like this get asked so that they have a general idea of how to answer it. And you can hear DeMeco smiling as he said that. He was smiling as he said that, but he also said, I guess there's this narrative that we're not a good team. And it's not a narrative because what we have seen of late has not been what I believe to be a good football team. Clearly against the New York Jets in Thursday Night Football, but also all season long, I feel like you have been putting in a C+ effort on a team that has, at the very least, B+ talent.
100%. I mean, this is I was reading a power ranking from The Ringer, and part of their point for the Texans this year was that the offensive line was healthy, and they didn't expect them to also be significantly worse than last year. Like, you across the board should have been better this year. Another year of CJ Stroud, another year of Tank Dell, Nico Collins. You add Diggs, you add a bunch of weapons on defense,
and yet where's the improvement?
Exactly. Like it really feels like they have 6 wins, but as DJ pointed out with us on Tuesday, last year they were blowing teams out. This year, everything is a 1-score margin in which it's impressive that they keep winning those games, that they're locking down on defense or on offense. But everything feels like a chore for the Texans.
Winning is all that matters, but it feels like there is a clock ticking in the background, and eventually this is going to blow up in their face. And now it seems the Texans are aware of it. I did get a sense of rabbit ears from that, but I more so got a sense of rabbit ears from DeMeco Ryans when he was asked about the Texans at the trade deadline. Somebody asked him, hey, what does this mean about the confidence you have in your team that nothing went down at the trade deadline? Here's the head coach of the Houston Texans.
No, I didn't emphasize anything to our team. Like we have the guys we have. I mean, everybody thinks the trade deadline comes and you're gonna, as you know, find this guy who's gonna save your team. I don't see it that way, right? Transactions were made across the league, uh, and there has to be two parties available to do a trade. Everybody's antsy about trades. It's not just us going and taking somebody from another team. People have to be available, and the trade has to be on good terms for everyone. So I know everybody's in an uproar about us trading at the deadline. It's like it's not from a lack of us working to get our team better and improve our team, but there's no savior coming to save our team, and there has to be two parties involved in trading.
Yeah, he's definitely aware that everyone, fans, media, thought that there was going to be a move, at least a move at the deadline of some consequence.
Maybe, I don't know if it's that they thought a move was going to happen. I think everyone wanted one.
Wanted one, should have happened. They thought it should have happened at least. And so he's definitely aware. I mean, it's clear. And look, this is a guy that's going to be throwing on headsets and be hearing what's going on the radio right before he jumps on. So he's hearing people talk about him, I'm sure. The media questioning, I think, has actually gotten, I don't want to say like,
it's a little more pointed.
yeah, pointed. Now I was going to say aggressive, but yeah, pointed for sure. So I think you can, some of that comes with the questions he's being asked on a regular basis, where he's getting a lot more pushback all of a sudden in the last 3 weeks than he had his entire tenure so far as a Texans coach. So it's the questioning he's getting, but there's definitely rabbit ears when he's having to defend it in that way. And when you're bringing up the two-party system that, you have to have both teams, two teams have to want to make a deal. That feels like something he's prepared to go into a press conference with.
I'm sure that he talked with Nick Caserio, or he talked with, as you said a little bit earlier, someone in Texans PR, and they maybe prepared him for that and said, hey, there's a lot of people who are frustrated about a lack of moves. And that's why he said everybody's in an uproar about the trade deadline. And I just want to specify, I'm not in an uproar about that. I more believe that they've had multiple opportunities to address the interior offensive line. And instead they said, let's roll the dice on Kenyon Green. And I just don't think that was a smart bet. Obviously, we have the benefit of Captain Hindsight at this moment in time. But I also sensed him being annoyed with that answer specifically. He is annoyed that people are talking about this. And I'm sure that he and Nick Caserio have had conversations, and they're probably like, oh, man, I mean, what were we really supposed to do here? What could we have done here? And okay, actually, I will give him a little benefit of the doubt there as far as finding a second person to tango with, if you will. But still, it feels like they are more aware of criticism. And I would just tell all of them, do not pay attention to what we have to say. We appreciate it, especially if it were to give us numbies, ratings, something like that. Don't. This is how you become Hugh Jackson, is when you start paying attention to what people are saying about you. And guess what? Every single time that a first-year head coach and a first-year quarterback start to get into year two, questions will develop. Honeymoon phase is great, right? For those who are married, probably was pretty good at first.
Pretty good.
Now, I'm a cynical person, and I don't think I'm ever going to get married. But listen, at first, I'm sure it's great. The real thing is, can you keep it going afterwards? And it's just natural. Once it's not new anymore, when things aren't going 100% according to plan, which they rarely do in the NFL, people are going to start pecking at you. And you got to not give a bleep.
And they just shouldn't care. Like you said, like they should not care at all what anyone has to say outside. But when you give the same answers every single week, I think that's kind of what causes the honeymoon period to end. When you keep telling us it's sunshine and rainbows and everything's going to get fixed and we're going to keep working on it, and then you go out and it's not fixed, and you say all changes are on the table, and then only changes are made because of injuries for the most part, then it's like, well, we're going to call your bluff. And they shouldn't be listening. But we know the players in the locker room, they are for sure.
I definitely believe that. Yes, 100%. And I don't know how many people are subscribing to Stephen Nelson's podcast, where he has been rather pointed at the Houston Texans. I'm sure of anyone criticizing the Houston Texans, the guys are most aware of their ex-teammate doing it to specific elements of the team. And I will just once again say, nothing good comes from paying attention to what happens on social media. Be like me. Delete your Instagram. Delete your TikTok. Just do it. I only have Twitter on my phone because I'm required to have it essentially for work.
But permanently delete it.
I would love to delete it. I would if I were, everything that I've dreamed I could be,
Mhm.
an elite athlete,
Mhm.
catching passes from Tom Brady for 10 years. It would have been amazing.
That would have been a great life.
Tear comes to my eye thinking about that. I
Yeah.
could have been the
You and
the
Julian.
white savior wide receiver up there, the hard-working, scrappy slot wide receiver for Tom Brady.
First one in, last one out.
Yeah, you tried that.
I tried.
You tried.
Yeah, it was
Well, I
terrible.
appreciate the effort.
With the
terrible.
years of match, yeah, it would have matched
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
You
I could have been
You've been
Julian
the same
Edelman.
draft class as what? Rob Gronkowski and that other tight end that they drafted.
Yeah, that guy.
I mean, you're probably the same age as Julian Edelman, aren't you?
Probably pretty close.
Edelman has
He's
to be
achieved a little
older.
more, but there's still time left. Just like Jamie Lannister, in the book of the Kingsguard, there's
Mhm.
still time left for a rather large woman to eventually write, once I'm dead, because I decided to die with my sister, she can write in the book that I did something.
Gosh, I want to rewatch the last season of Game of Thrones.
Do you?
Yeah, that right there. Come on.
I watched the entire season again, the entire series again,
Up till
and then I started the last season and I gave up. I was starting to get disappointed as I watched it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bounce.
You know what? I recently did the exact same thing, and you know what I did? That exact same thing.
Right.
I
It's
got
so bad.
breezed through it, and I was like, you know what? The end of season 6 is perfect. I don't need to watch anymore.
I think I got to the point where like I watched the Battle of Winterfell
Mhm.
when the Night King dies, and that was the end.
It's hard to watch it
because it's so dark.
Yeah, you
It's
don't
so
you don't
dark.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
Speaking of darkness, while CJ Stroud, he is confident going forward. Again, my confidence took a major hit last night, and I do need to just get this off of my chest and get it out of the way. And have your chuckles, have your chuckles. So yesterday had another rodeo committee meeting with my friends at the Poultry Action Committee, which I'm a part of. Good time, really good group of people. And at one point, though, once again, it happened. It happened. A girl came up to me and asked me a very pointed question. Can you guys guess what the question was? Can you guys guess? You know what's coming. Can you guess though?
Who'd you vote for?
No, someone did ask me that, and
Okay.
I did not answer that question.
is it perhaps about your mustache?
It wasn't about
Have
that.
you always had the mustache?
Nope, it wasn't. It
Have
wasn't
you
about
always
that.
had the mustache? Other people have described as village people esque.
She asked me straight up, "Are you gay?"
Oh,
They're direct at that Poultry Action Committee.
Dude, it's everyone. This just happens to me all the time.
no, when you said no,
I know. I laughed, and
Okay.
and then I asked, like, seriously, what is it? What is it that makes you think that?
I like the follow-up.
I like.
question.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Because I even told her, I was like, this is a recurring bit, and I never answer the question of it because I think it's hilarious. But it happened again. It's incredible.
Did she answer? Like why?
No, she didn't. She was like, and started like laughing a little bit because she felt very awkward after she said
I'm
it.
sure she did.
No. What?
She shouldn't. I really do not mind when people ask me that or call me that. I really don't.
I think you need to.
But it is really. I want to know why it keeps happening.
I would have held our feet to the fire. I'd
Yeah, I
be
think you
like,
need
no,
a-
stop
you need a
laughing. Tell me why.
Yeah,
Why?
you need like a counterpunch.
Do you ask every single person in
Yeah.
here? Like, are you taking a census?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
What's the most offensive thing you can ask back?
That's not productive.
yeah, I'm above that. I don't need to ask something back. I don't need to counterpunch back. I don't. I just think it's funny that this happens over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
He's better than Joel Embiid and Jason Kelsey. He doesn't need to clap back.
713-780-3776. Why does everyone think I'm gay?